This
cloud
conference
platform.
will now be recorded.
So yesterday we have discussed about the cloud platforms, right? Like what is a cloud platform and everything. So in
That's
today's
right.
So in today's session, I will explain about what exactly Dynamics 365 is and what is the difference between online and on-premise we have. And also apart from that,
Okay.
This
um,
conference will now be recorded.
okay, sorry. So apart from that, we will start creating a trial instance today. It is a kind of the Dynamics 365 trial instance, and we'll just go through like how it looks like today. From tomorrow
Your
onwards,
voice is breaking, sir, actually.
yeah, you can call me as Sai. Yeah. So, is it
Yes,
audible?
Sai, right?
Yeah, Sai or Tej. You can call me as Tej as well. It's up to you.
Okay,
So,
okay. Yeah, your voice is actually breaking.
now it's fine, Shruti.
Yeah, it is fine
Okay.
now, yes.
So now what I was saying is like today we will go through the what exactly the product contains and also like what are the differences between online and on-premise and also what are the benefits if the business if the user goes for online and also apart from that the architecture what exactly the architecture contains of Dynamics 365 and CRM. And apart from that, we will discuss about installation of the trial. I mean, how we can set up Dynamics 365 account in online cloud platform. Okay. So these are the things we will do it, and if we have time further, then we will proceed like how we can. I mean, I can explain overall the view of the CRM, how it looks like. Okay. So let's get
Okay,
started.
okay.
Yeah, fine. So let's get the first thing. As we discussed yesterday, how we can um, hide this. Okay, fine. So, okay. So yesterday we talked, right? There are two, two platforms, hosted platforms for us for Microsoft Dynamics 365. One is online and the other one is on-premise. So this slide contains about what is online and what it exactly contains, and also like what are the benefits that we have when you choose online Dynamics 365. Okay. So see, Microsoft, as I said, like Microsoft Dynamics 365 contains a hosted cloud platform. So it is like a software as a service. So in the cloud, we have these software has been hosted. Our Dynamics 365 software has been hosted in the cloud platform. So the first point it actually tells is Microsoft Dynamics CRM and 365 online is a hosted software as a service. So it is a kind of SaaS application. So basically, what is the software as a service applications are nothing but they have. I mean the applications that was made on this as a software as a service. They charge like every organization who has implementing these applications. They charge based on the services that we use. Like for example, I can tell like our mobile data or uh, postpaid. Let us take the postpaid data when we having the mobile recharge kind of stuff. See, postpaid, what will happen every month based on our usage, they will charge some amount. The same pattern kind of thing here we are using. I mean, the Microsoft has using the Dynamics 365 cloud platforms. So whatever you use, whatever the model, whatever the plan you use, they will charge based on the plan that we have chosen. Okay. So you got your point, right? Hello.
Yeah, that's right, Tej. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it.
Okay. Yeah. So like Microsoft Dynamics 365 is, as I said, it is the software as a service application and are essentially rental models. So that is what I was talking about. So these are mainly based on the rent, deal, I mean, sorry, it is mainly rely on rental models, and you have to pay, as a monthly fee or like subscription kind of stuff. Like for example, if you subscribe anything, any apps like Hotstar, or if you come to OTP kind of stuff, OPT kind of stuff, there you have like different platforms, right? So every app, if you subscribe, they will charge per month. Like whatever we have, YouTube. Let us take example as YouTube. So if you subscribe any channel, I mean, if you want to subscribe it without watching ads or something, then we need to subscribe some amount per month, like plan. So we have some plans like that also. For every, I mean, for Dynamics 365, we have some plans that are called as licensing. Based on the license, they will charge it. For example, if you take a free plan license, then they will charge uh, based on the license that we have using or taken. So that is the kind of stuff. So basically this, if I mean, if any business user want to choose whether it is online or on premise, then they should think about this, about the pricing. So the next point it is added is, this can be an important part of the decision, and you should consult your accountant. Or accountant means any finance department in your organization, or you need to discuss with your client and finance department, with internal users, internal management, what they have. So but as a Dynamics 365 technical consultant or even functional consultant, we need to progress what exactly it is. It has the functionality that we need to tell, and what are the benefits they have if you go for online. What are the cons we have if you go for online or on premise. That we need to explain as part of our responsible. That I mean responsibility, because as we are a dynamic 365 consultant, we need to know which kind of which hosting platform we need to use, and we need to uh, explain to the client which one we need it. I mean, which is the best for them. That is also I will tell one example after that. So, and if coming to the online part, so they don't want any hardware or software. Okay, so uh, if you go for online, we do not need any kind of software or hardware kind of stuff. Just we will take a trial instance, and we will subscribe for that, and then we will use it. So we no need to worry about what is behind the what hardware they have, what are the software supporting softwares they needed. So we no need to worry about that. So Microsoft Dynamics 3 CRM and 365 online require no infrastructure, hardware or software. That means we no need to worry about any kind of infrastructure that they are using, or what kind of infrastructure we need it, and also what kind of software or hardware we need it. There is nothing to worry if you go for online. And users simply run the application through a browser. So Microsoft Dynamics 365, this Microsoft Dynamics 365 product can access in multiple ways. As I said yesterday, like we can access through web, we can access through Outlook, and even we can access through the mobile application. So that is the point here I have mentioned. And the next one is IT, limited IT involvement. That means we no need to worry about much involvement for related to IT departments, IT infrastructures like servers, networking team, and all relaying party teams. We no need to go and concern for them, like I need these IPs, I need these hosts in the machine, and I need these static IPs need to be configured in our system. So this kind of communication, or any kind of infrastructure, or any team members help, we no need at all. I mean, we should not rely, I mean, we cannot rely on those IT department involved department people. So it is clearly stating that in this point, Dynamics CRM online implementations and ongoing support do not require much involvement from your IT department. So all the deployment, or whatever the deployments, or whatever the implementations that we are doing on Dynamics 365, that only having the people who are having the role of system admin. So system admin role users, they can able to do whatever they want. Say they don't want to rely on any other department users. So that is they are saying here. So see, no hardware or software to maintain. Backups are performed and managed by Microsoft as well. See, for example, I have created one instance. Okay. Now client is asking us like we are going for online. Now I need multiple instances, dev, UAT, and production. So that means we have to create 3 instances in one tenant. Tenant is nothing but one trial. One trial creation we will call as a tenant, and in the tenant we will be having multiple environments. So each environment will be as dev, it will be as UAT, or it will be as production. So that is like we can uh, we will be having that kind of structure. I will show you when we create a trial, and I will show what we can, how we can create the environments and kind of stuff. So here, so and also the backups or any updates. See, Microsoft basically releases um, 2 times. I mean, they have pre-release events every year 2 times. I think once in July or August, and after that they will release in December, I guess. I'm not sure about the exact months, but they release for per year. They release 2 events, and each event pre-release events, they come up with new new changes or new kind of modules that has been implemented, or whatever the changes that has been going inside the Dynamics 365 CRM product. They will clearly give the document to the users. So in the document it clearly states that these are the things that we should ignore and we should not use it. You need to change these syntaxes, the codes, deprecated kind of things. They will give the clear document. So that kind of facility and flexible way the Microsoft has been providing for the users. And updates and upgrade versions, like for example, I want to update version. For example, let us take I have installed a Microsoft Dynamics 365 version 9.0. Let us take, we have different versions like 8, 9, and after that D365. So I mean 9.0, 9.1, like that we have. So if we want to upgrade or any kind of versions, that will be maintained by Microsoft only. We need to just raise a Microsoft ticket for that particular product. I mean, we need to raise to Microsoft team. So what they will do is they will ask us what our tenant details and all the infrastructure. I mean, all the trial details, environment details, and they will check it and will get back to us. So and then they will provide a better solution in what way we have to do it, or I mean they will give solution, or otherwise what they will do is they will do from their back end. I mean they will do their from their side. Sometimes it will have, mostly they will do it, but sometimes they ask us to do ourselves. It depends upon the requirement and the scenarios. So these are the points I can say about online. Here in this diagram, we have Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Dynamics 365. So yesterday I have tell, right? I mean, yesterday when we discussed it in the previous session, I told that Office 365 is is a cloud platform which is integrating with all the products with the Dynamics 365 and ERP kind of stuff. So this is that kind of total platform. This together platform is called as Microsoft Power Platform. So now under Microsoft Power Platform, we have Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agents, and there are one more thing. AI is also there. That is, I was not included. That is recently they have taken into this Microsoft Power Platform. Chatbots, AI chatbots. So that is one of the module, one of the tools. Sorry, not module. One of the tools that has been introduced in Microsoft Power Platform. So uh, see, our Dynamics 365 comes under Power Apps platform, comes under Power Apps tool. And Power Automate is like we have before workflows. Now, I mean, Microsoft Flows that has been renamed as Power Automate. It is a separate tool which they can helpful for automating the business processes. And Power BI. Power BI is a kind of tool where we can do reporting kind of stuff. Whatever the reports we need to do it, we can use this tool and do reporting, SQL reportings, or any kind of fetch XML reports. Power BI, we can use some visualizations. Like if you want to do our Dynamics 365 data visualization through Power BI tool, we can use. I mean, if you want to do, we can go for Power BI and we can develop our own reports like SSRS reports, fetch XML reports, data analytics, and also even we can use Excel as a data source, and we can connect to the Power BI tool and we can explore and enhance the data, and we can design the reports. And Power Virtual Agents, like see nowadays, see each and every company or any organization uh, has using some chatbots. Chatbots means if you go for any banking internet banking website, they have some chatbots. So the chatbots are nothing but Power Virtual Agents. So those kind of tools, virtual tools, has been built based on the Power Virtual Agents. So this together, these are all together tools: Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agents, and AI chatbots. One more is there. These all together, and including Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365, these are all together called as Microsoft Power Platform. So this is about online. Any questions regarding this?
Yeah, I have one
Yeah,
question, Teju.
yeah.
My question is, what is the difference between a classic UI and
Yeah.
advanced GUI?
Yeah. Classic UI and advanced UI is different actually. See, classic mode, actually, those are not UIs. We'll call it as unified interface and classic mode. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I will tell you once the trial implementation is. I mean, when I see it. See, basically, before version 9.0, we don't have
Mm-hmm.
unified interface. Okay, we have only the classic mode. So if you go for previous versions like Microsoft Dynamics 365 version 8.0 or something, if you go previous
Mm-hmm.
versions, we don't have unified interface kind of stuff. We have only
Mm-hmm.
classic interface. Now from
Okay.
version 9.0, they started this new user interface, which is a unified interface,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
it looks like totally different. I will show you what when we created trial, I will show you how classic interface looks like and how unified interface looks like. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Is there anything?
No, apart from this, no other questions.
Okay, fine. So the next we will talk about on-premise. Okay, next slide. What happened? Okay. Next, we have next one is about the on-premise. So as I said, right, we have online and on-premises of Microsoft Dynamics 365. So, but as I said, our online will be hosted on some cloud platform, which is like data centers. But on-premise will be installed in our servers. See, the first point itself, it's clearly stating that Microsoft Dynamics CRM and 365 on-premise gets installed on servers either in your data center or at a hosting partners. See, my actually online will be maintained and installed in Microsoft data centers, but on-premise will not be installed in Microsoft data centers. It will be some third-party partners will be there who are maintaining data centers. We need to contact them, and we need to contact them and check with them whether they are ready to install our on-premise Dynamics 365 to their data centers, and they will charge for that. Even if we want to install our software, our application into their servers and maintain the data in their data centers, they will charge. They will ask for. They may charge some amount, and they will ask some payment as well regarding the installations. So that is one drawback actually. So still, if we should not rely on Microsoft, and maybe some clients, what they think is maybe security purpose. They may think about privacy of their data, security of their data. So they think that the Microsoft should not be involved in our personal data. I mean, personal means their business own data. So then in that case, what they think is the clients, they will go for on-premise, and okay, maybe it may charge, but I want to go for on-premise, and because of my privacy of my data, and it should be secure. So that is what some of the clients, they will go for on-premise, and they will contact some third-party hosting partners or third-party data centers, and they will host the I mean, they will install our Dynamics 365 on-premise in their data centers. So the on-premise version is an expense actually. As I said, right, it is a kind of capital expense. You need to pay like, I mean, see, even if you go for online or on-premise, there will be a licensing structure. Okay, like basic structure, basic plan structure, power user license. There are different licenses. I will, if you need it, then I will go further sessions and I will tell you about the licensing part. But it's up to you. I mean, if you need it, I will tell you that the licensing. So and also the hardware and infrastructure also we need to configure ourselves, and that means the if you choose on premise, everything should be maintained by our own users. That means, for example, I'm a client, I want to use on premise version, then that is my responsibility to handle everything, even the hardware infrastructure or whatever, the servers, like hosting the Microsoft Dynamics 365 in data, I mean, hosting in different data centers, and also these kind of everything, networks, everything should be handled by us only. The Microsoft will not provide any, I mean, will not be responsible for anything. They will give a proper document for us. From the Microsoft, we will get the document, which is the prerequisites and best practices. That means we should follow those instructions kind of stuff before installing. And also we need to see, for example, let us, I will tell you the simple example. If you want to install any software in our laptop, what we need to do, we need to check the software is compatible with our operating system, and we'll check whether it is installing properly or not, and whether it is 64-bit or 32-bit. Based on the Windows, we will check it, right? The same way, the there is some documentation of installation on premise that is provided by Microsoft. Those document structure we need to follow, and we need to install it. And after installing everything, if we find any issue, or if you're not able to access any application, then we can contact Microsoft support team, and they will check where is getting wrong, and they will guide us these servers you need to maintain, or this is the issue we are facing, like Active Directory services are not enabled, something like that. They will enhance our installation and troubleshooting kind of stuff, and they will provide a solution for us. After that, we need to check that particular, I mean, we need to know about what we need to do, that solution that was provided by them, and we need to solve the issues. So that is the one thing in on-premise. But on-premise advantages is everything will be controlled by us. Even if you want any SQL server, see, as I said, if you go for online, we cannot access SQL, I mean, databases kind of stuff. But in on-premise, we can go and you can write SQL server queries, SQL queries, SQL. Even you can write storage procedures also. Whatever we need it, we can do it in on-premise. But in online, there are some disadvantages for that. So, I mean, we cannot achieve all this through online. And apart from that, the next point they are saying is minimally the on-premise model requires 2 servers. See, I'm talking about the servers, the next point. So if you go for this diagram, it is having, these are all the servers they needed. One is SQL reporting server, one is database server, one is Active Directory server, one is email server, and the other one is application server. So first what we need to do is, if you want to install Dynamics 365, first we need to maintain one server that is called as application server. In the application servers, we need to take one Windows kind of server, like, and in that server we need to install Dynamics 365. See here, it clearly states minimally the on sorry Okay, minimally the on-premise model requires two servers, one for the Dynamics 365 server application and the other for SQL server, and the third and fourth server may be required for workflow servers or reporting servers. Basically, we don't use workflow servers, we will use for reporting servers. Reporting servers for definitely we need this server to build the reports. I mean, report handling, if you want to do any reports, SQL reports or reporting in Dynamics 365 through on-premise, then we need to maintain reporting servers, database servers we need to maintain, email servers we need to maintain, Active Directory server we need to maintain, and also application server we need to maintain. And apart from this, we need to maintain, servers, IPs. Like, I mean, we need to go through each and every server IPs, static IPs, or we need to configure some infrastructure from the network team. So they need to allocate some static IPs to our servers like SQL server, database server, because see, without IP addresses, we cannot interact with. I mean, the communication doesn't happen without the IP, and may get some conflicts also. So that is the reason we need to check with the networking team what are the support IPs they have, and also from the data center how they are hosting our servers in their data centers. Those kind of communication, and there will be handled those kind of stuff. These kind of stuff will not be handled by our Dynamics 365 technical persons. All the infrastructure kind of stuff will be maintained by the infrastructure team. So that will be handled by the client only. Basically, most of the projects or applications that are using on-premise, most of the infrastructure will be maintained by client, and only the Dynamics 365 product what we are using will be maintained by Dynamics 365 technical people only. Okay, so here, as I said, right, we have like SQL reporting. SQL reporting server
Tej,
means
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Your voice is little disturbing actually. It's not clear.
is it fine now? Hello?
No, I think you are keeping your earphones too close by to you.
No, no, I'm not using earphones. I was directly
Now it
talking.
is clear. Yeah, now it
Okay,
is
so
clear. Yes,
maybe some network issue. I mean, okay,
mostly
now
it's
it's
clear.
audible, right? Okay, so that is
Yeah.
what I was saying about the servers. So if you go for on-premise, mostly we have to maintain all these servers. So the on-premise model requires Microsoft SQL Server, Windows Server, as I said, right? CIAS, Internet Information Services. Even we need to maintain. I mean, we need to configure one Windows Server, and also from we have to configure one Windows Server, and in that server we have to install IAS services, and also some additional supporting requirement will be there, which will be in our documentation. Installation documentation will be there actually on premise. That in that documentation they will provide some additional requirements. That is also we need to check it, and we need to start installing on premise in these servers. And we have to maintain all these servers. SQL server we need to maintain. If, for example, my application is not running, let us take on-premise application is suddenly stopped. Okay, client has raised the
Tej, your voice is again gone.
Hello, is it audible? Hello.
Yeah, it is audible. It's like, for an example, if you keep a cloth in your mouth and talk, that is how it is. Yeah, I mean, sounding.
Oh, is it? Okay. Hello, is it audible now?
Yeah, okay, better. Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying is, see, if you maintain all these servers, right, I mean, if you go for on-premise and if you maintain all these servers by our own, then suddenly if sometimes the application running as stop, then what will happen is we need to check all these services are running or not. Okay. So we need to connect to the SQL server, and we need to check whether all the SQL reporting services are running or not. And also we need to check the database. We need to connect to SQL DB, and also we need to check why any database transaction logs has been blocked or something like that. If something has happened, then we need to go for database servers, and we need to check it. And it clearly states like why the application has stopped. I mean, when we go to instance and when we download any error log file, it clearly states that, okay, this error, some SQL timeout error is coming. Then what we need to do is, let us take some example kind of stuff. SQL timeout error we got. So why this error is coming? Then we need to go for first SQL server, and we need to check any transaction logs. Any transaction logs are blocking or something like that. If there is huge transaction logs, then what we need to delete those log files, and then we need to run again the DB. So these kind of things we have to do it. And actually, to be honest from my end, see, some on-premise is definitely a headache kind of stuff. We need to know lot of things if the application goes for on-premise to Dynamics. I mean, as a Dynamics 365. So this is about, and also everyone should involve in this version, because every team should get involved in this version, because if we did not find any issues uh, when we got any error kind of stuff, so everyone in the team should get involved, and it is a kind of time consuming. See, let me tell you one example that really happened to us in one of our project. Basically, I mean, when I was working one project, they go for on-premise. Okay, what happened? The production instance got suddenly stopped working, and we don't know what happened actually. But uh, we tried login and it is not showing any errors. And also it is not, sometimes, the errors also will not be available when the application stops. Then what we have done some troubleshooting steps. Then that also, at that time also, we did not find any issue. Like, uh, let us take IAS services. Let's see, basically on-premise issues comes, what we need to do is we need to go for each and every service. We need to check we need to log into each and every server and check whether the services are running or not. That is the first point we need to do it if the application has stopped in through on-premise. If the client says, then if any services are not running, then we need to restart the services, and it will automatically again it will run the application. But when I was recently, it was happened. See, even we start the services also, it doesn't work for us, and we raise a Microsoft ticket, and it almost took like 3 days to solve the issue. We work continuously 3 days plus shift timings, and we identify the issue. That is basically the issue is through the firewall network. That was from the client. It's not from the Dynamics 365 application server. See, AD servers also authentication. This is Active Directory server. Active Directory server means all the users. For example, I am a user. Site is, and you are the user Bindu. For example, let us take Bindu is having a user in Dynamics 365. So these users' data should be maintained in Active Directory. So to authenticate the application, then we have to go for Active Directory services, and through that services we can able to log in and authenticate with the application. So that is some kind of thing it was happened to us. So any questions regarding on-premise? If you did,
No, Tesh, no, I have understood on premise, I mean, details, but
yeah,
I have received one case which is again, I mean, it is an on-premise case.
okay,
So yeah, we'll discuss on that later. I mean, we'll finish this basic one because anyways,
oh,
that case is already almost like 100 days old now, so it's okay. We'll wait for that. But for now, you can continue. Yes.
okay. Actually, it's a supporting team. They need to know about all these installations and kind of stuff. I mean, if you're working on support, I think.
Sorry.
Okay. I was saying that if you're working on-premise, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
then mostly support support kind of tickets will come, right? As you said, you got some cases kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I
those
have got
kind.
only one on-premise case so far. I have got online
Yeah.
cases multiple, but
Mm,
that it's becoming difficult because I don't know much on this Dynamics part, and I am from customizations team as well. So that's the reason. Yeah, on-premise case is only one. Apart from that, online cases is what I'm getting this.
Okay.
Yeah, but apparently
Okay.
we keep getting on-premise cases every now and then, which we have to work on. So I have to learn both online and on-premise.
Okay. Okay. Fine. No
Yeah.
issues. So, but from my, I mean, if you want, but I cannot show the installations of on-premise because we don't have any
No, no,
service, right?
no, that's okay. If I have just basic knowledge on that, that's more than enough, please.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you then. Okay, sorry, let me tell you the advantages that we have if we go for online model. So in online, we'll be having a lot of modules as coming additionally adding by the Microsoft. That is the project service automation. Basically, before we have only four modules. One is sales, the other one is services, and the other one is marketing, and the other one is field service. So only four modules has been having in Dynamics 365. I mean Dynamics CRM, customer relationship management. We have only four modules. But now they have added some additional modules also. One is called project service automation. The other one is human resource management. This is recently introduced. So these kind of additional modules, if you want to come for on I mean to know, I mean if you want to use it, then we should go for only online. In on-premise, we cannot make any kind of these additional modules to work on. Again, we have to install each and every module in the on-premise. So that is the one drawback actually. But in online, we no need to install anything, any module separately. By itself, it will provided by the Microsoft, so it will automatically add on to the product. So the additional benefits here we can see is one is project service automation. That is one kind of module. Web portals. As I said, right, we have here Power Apps. So in the inside this Power Apps, we'll be having three types of sections again. One is Canvas apps. The other one is model driven apps, and the other one is portals. So here, the web portals is nothing but the Power Apps portals, which contains about the predefined portals has been add on into the Power Apps portals. So I will show you once the installation setup is done. And the next one is voice of the customer. This is also one of the app that was came into the picture in online. And AI capabilities, as I said, right, we have some AI capabilities. So by using this capabilities, what we can do is we can do some um, enhance insights like predictive insights or relationship insights, whatever some AI capabilities we can do by using this particular AI tool. I am not sure, to be honest. I didn't go through this tool because this is the latest one that came. And the next one is the organization insight dashboard. This is normal dashboards what we have in CRM. Like, see, basically we in CRM, see, in our online we have an activity entity. So before I mean like 2 years back, in activity entity we don't have any kind of insight dashboards. We have only one dashboard, that is normal dashboards. But additionally they added a new dashboard that is called interactive experience user dashboard. That is nothing but organization insights dashboard. So each and every entity uh, it is interacted with it is added as a one component to each and every entity in the application. So I will show that that components and everything. Integrations with the online versions of Office apps. See, the next point, it is clearly telling that integrations with online versions of Office apps. As I said, right, Microsoft Office is one, Office 365 is one, and Office 365 is one, and Dynamics 365 is another product. So I mean, product means it is the tools. These are two different tools, but it is laying on the same platform. So if you want to integrate these two applications, then what we need to do is we can use some power platform tools connectors. Like we have some basic connectors. If you go to any Power Apps, we can know where we can use the connectors kind of stuff. So Dynamics 365 connector, Salesforce connectors. There are some connectors. I will show it once. Uh, Everything trial is set up. I can tell you some more stuff to you to what about all these kind of stuff. So the integrations can happen from the Office to Dynamics 365 and Office through any ERP platform, any CRM module like sales service or customer service, field service, project service automation, whatever it is. And also, if you go for online, we can, there is a one app, as I said, Dynamics 365 app Outlook, sorry, Dynamics 365 for app, which can be useful for field service. I mean, if any user using uh, through the, I mean, for example, let us say some users will work on the field, like they want to if you take any construction department, see construction kind of users, what they want to do, they have to move to one field to another field, and they want to do some kind of operations and information they need to get it from them. So those kind of stuff, they cannot rely on only the web, they cannot rely only on the web and right. So what we can do is they can go for mobile and they can install Dynamics 365 app and they can do their operations itself. And the next one is Dynamics 365 for talent. This is one of the module which helpful for human resources. Yeah. See, the next one is unified interface. You asked me, right? The what is the classic interface and classic mode and UI. So this is recently introduced unified interface. This is the new user interface. And also the next feature that we got is Microsoft Teams integration. Before we don't have integration with Teams, Microsoft Teams, but through Microsoft Teams, we can able to, I mean, integrate to with the Power Apps. So, I mean, our Power Apps can able to integrate with Microsoft Teams also. Like, for example, if there is any other organization that is using only the Microsoft Teams, and those users want to use any Power Apps like Canvas app or model driven app, any kind of stuff, then they can integrate the app within the Microsoft Teams. That kind of flexibility they have provided. I mean, the Microsoft has been provided for us. Playbooks is one of the sales process. This is recently introduced. In sales process, we have a concept called playbooks that is recently introduced in Dynamics 365. And Power BI integration, as I said, right? This Power BI and Power Automate, Power BI also we can integrate to multiple systems like ERP, sorry, Oracle or Salesforce or any even Excel. Even we can integrate Excel data by taking Excel sheet and we can integrate that data to our Dynamics 365 or directly to the Power BI, and we can build some reports or we can do some data analysis kind of stuff. And also Power Automate. See, Power Automate is a kind of it is a tool which will be helpful for automate the uh, business processes. So, for example, let us take I mean, whenever the user qualifies a lead, I want to send an, I mean, it should send an email to all the users. Then if we use Power Automate kind of tool, what will happen is it will send an email to all the users what we have configured in the system whenever the lead has been got qualified. So these kind of scenarios will be handled by using Power Automate. And it can be the external users also, not only within the Dynamics CRM users. It can be an external users like if we have Gmail or Outlook or any other email services providers also, we can make Power Automate. And also there are some kind of extra Power Automate flows, like I can say like instant flows. There are different flows also that I will explain you further in the session about the Power Automate. So these are the features we have, and these are some advantages. These and see, if you go for on-premise, you cannot go for Power Automate. You have to rely on the Dynamics 365 workflows that we have for workflows activities. That means.
Okay, so I have one question now, Tej. Thing
Hmm.
is, there are time when you are linking your solution imports,
Ah,
everything with Azure
yeah,
pipelines, right?
yeah,
So
yes.
during that time, if we are importing this solution manually on user interface, I mean,
Mm,
classic UI, if we
mm,
are importing the solution manually, that gets successful. But when it is imported through pipeline, Azure pipeline or something, it is getting an error, which means pipeline issue. So in this case, what is the manual solution import? And I mean,
yeah,
why
I
is
got.
it even important? That is my question.
Okay. So you're asking about the import of the solution through pipeline you have done, but it is not working. So, I
Yeah,
mean, are
but
you trying
manually when they import, it is working.
to manually it is working in different tenant?
No, no, say in the classic UI, when the customer is
No,
importing
no,
the
got it.
solution manually.
I got your point, but I was asking whether he was doing the import through, I mean, on the same environment or different environment. That is what I was
Same
asking.
environment, same environment.
Same environment.
Oh, your voice is not clear again, Tej. I'm
Hello,
sorry.
hello, hello.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
now I can hear you. Yeah.
Um, Same environment. See, basically, see, deployment will be done based on the
Mm-hmm.
solutions, based on the
Mm-hmm.
solutions. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, let us say I have created one solution, and in the solution I have added all the components that what we have. I mean, what we built, like forms, views, whatever, plugins or something. So,
Mm-hmm.
if any component that is missing in target environment, if we are importing, then it
Mm-hmm.
will ask us there the the import of solution will get failed. It will clearly states that. But through pipeline means I'm not getting like how they are doing through the pipeline. I'm not sure. That is what I was not able to get down the exact answer for that. I mean,
Okay.
are they doing through Azure pipeline or what?
It is imported through Azure pipeline.
Mm,
Yeah. So, but when they are importing it, there was failures with a couple of errors and so on. So, but when they are when we checked if they can import it manually, then the import was successful.
I never do this kind of import. Actually, basically, we will do through manually only solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Azure pipeline, I never try it, but let me check comment and I will tell you if there is any solution. I can find it. I will give you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, okay, sure, sure. Because I my project is more on working with solutions.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
So you know
Okay.
how custom. I mean, have you come across this part called customizations?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I am
Custom.
completely working on customizations, yeah, including solutions, model-driven
Yeah,
apps, something like that.
yeah, yeah. I will tell you that. I will tell you. Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay, okay.
So, let me tell you about the architecture actually what we have in Dynamics 365. So this architecture diagram, we have three levels. One is like client level, and the other one, sorry, one is like client side, and the other one is server side. And the interaction between client and server side will happen based on the
Client
website.
side and server side, right?
Yeah, yes, yes. Client side and
Okay.
server side. And
There is some disturbance in your voice. I'm really sorry.
okay, maybe some network, I guess.
Yeah, now it is clear. I think there's something that I don't know what exactly is happening. Sometimes it is like, it's like you are keeping something in mouth and talking. That is the kind of volume that sound I'm getting. Maybe there's network issue probably. Now again, I'm getting the same sound.
Now is it fine? Hello?
No, no, now I can't hear you properly.
Hello, is it audible? Hello?
No, there's a disturbance actually.
Okay. Hello, is it audible?
I can hear you, but it's not clear.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay. So actually this, I mean, we have two levels. One is client side and server side. So the interaction between the client side and server side will be happen based on the web services. So if you want to interact any server from the UI part, then what we need to do is we need to go for one web service kind of stuff, and this web service will interact with all the server side components. Okay, so let me tell you what are the client side components and what we have server side components. Okay, so in the client side components, we have three levels. One is integrated applications. These integrated applications are nothing but our external applications, like I can say some SAP or any .NET application or any ERP application. So these kind of external applications, or even let us take any Java application also. If you built any Java kind of website, let us take any website also, web application also. So web applications or any ERP application, any software application, it will come as integrated applications. So this is nothing but external applications. So if you want to integrate the data to Dynamics 365 from external applications, we need to use web services. Through the web service only, you can make, I mean, we can do the integrations, communication between our Dynamics 365 server and to the external application server. So this is nothing but backend integration, server to server. It is saying so backend integration. So to communicate between our Dynamics 365 server and the application server, what they have, external application server, then we need to go for web services. And there is some specific some specific code is there. Code means some specific kind of programming we need to use it to write some web services. That I will tell you further. What are the web services we have and how we can write it. Basically, we will write through C# and through JavaScript. Basically, these two programming languages we will use to implement any kind of technical part, like technical code. If you want to implement any processes, anything, then we need to use only these two programming languages. Okay, so this is about the integral kind of stuff, integration part. And the next it is there. See, this is front-end integration. See, even front-end integration means we can, as I said, Dynamics users can use multiple ways. One is like they can use web interface. Maybe they can use Outlook interface, or maybe they can use Dynamics 365 mobile app. So if they want to communicate whatever the operations that has been done through front end, and that data should save it to our data, right? I mean, in the database, the data should get and stored in the database. I mean, whatever the data they are doing or whatever the events that has been performing through web or Outlook or mobile, that should come and get into the data. Then only whatever the changes that has been implemented, we can view it uh, on the on the UI, on the unified interface, whatever we have. So 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 in the front end, we'll be having extensible applications, means like forms and client-side events, ribbon customizations, web services, web resources, JavaScript libraries, site maps, everything, form customizations. So all these, as you said, right, we have some customizations and configurations. So all those kind of stuff will come in this part only, client-side events. Like if you do any, if you create any entity, or if you create any field, any dashboard or any chart, everything, whatever you have done, those events will come into this client side only. In the server, and this communication should happen, right? For example, let us take, I have created one field, and that field should store in our database. Then what will happen, there should be some communication between these two. So in the back end, what it will happen is, it will whenever you create a entity or anything, it will store into the SQL server, and that SQL server data will be maintained by Microsoft if it is online. If it is on premise, then definitely it should be we can log into the SQL server and we can check whether that entity has been created or not. Entity is nothing but a table. For example, let us take, I have created one account entity in the from the UI. From the UI, I have created an account entity. Once the account entity has been created, what will happen in the backend is it will create a new table called account in our SQL server. So in our SQL DB, it will create an account table, and it will create as a table. That's it. If you create any field like some account name or account number or whatever account or telephone number, whatever, if you create multiple fields, then it will create. I mean, for that entity, in that account entity, if you create fields, then that will come as columns in our SQL server. That means in SQL database, one table is called as entity in Dynamics, and one column is called as a particular field in the Dynamics 365. So it clearly states that entity is nothing but a table in SQL DB, and also columns. I mean, fields are nothing but a columns in SQL DB. So whatever operations you have done, the data will store according to that. So this is about I mean, you can create, you can design your own forms. You can use the existing forms that we have in our application, or you can create some custom forms in our application. And even you can do some client-side events. Client-side events means like on load of event, on load of the form, I want to populate some account name or contact name on the contact form. Okay, account name on the contact form. For example, let us take account and contact are related each other. Now, whenever the account record has created, and also account is mapped, I mean, whenever the user choose contact lookup on the account form, the contact should populate in the contact form. Then in that case, we should write some client-side events, and we will write some on load or on save or on change. There are some predefined client side events. I will tell you in further, like what are the client side events that we have. And ribbon customizations. So if you see the UI, there are some buttons like custom buttons, approve, new, save and close, and there are some export, import kind of stuff buttons are there, right? So those buttons will be in ribbon workbench. That is nothing but we'll call as ribbon actually. That here they have given us ribbon, but actually it is called as ribbon workbench. So if you click on the ribbon workbench, that is one kind of external tool that should be installed in our Dynamics 365 instance. Once we install the ribbon workbench in our Dynamics 365 instance, and when you click on that particular button, it will ask us, it will open a new UI kind of stuff, and there it will show all the buttons that is related to particular entity. That I will show you it, how we can do that. I will show all those kind of navigations once the trial is been created. And the sitemaps also. Sitemaps basically useful for the purpose of navigation kind of stuff. Like if you want to move to some other entity or some other settings or some navigation kind of stuff, then we will go for sitemaps. Web resources are nothing but if you want to implement any kind of scripting part, like you want to do some web API call through JavaScript, then what we need to do is we need to create one web resource, kind of web resource we need to create, and that is a type we need to choose as JavaScript, or then in that web resource we need to write our own JavaScript code. If you choose any HTML, there are different types of web resources. One is HTML, the other one is CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript. TypeScript we don't have, but we can write our own type. I mean, it is allowing now, but most of the people are flexible with JavaScript only. And apart from that, we have some JPG, CSS files. We can use it. Images, even you can use image web resource, and also Silverlight. Silverlight also it will accept. So this kind of PNG format images, JPG format images, this kind of files also we can upload it in our CRM by using the web resources. And JS libraries. There are some default libraries, predefined libraries that has been maintained by Microsoft. And these JavaScript libraries are helpful for interacting. Uh, I mean, interacting. It's helpful for making the events. Like for example, when I click save, when I create an account record, and when I click save, the on click of that particular button in the backend, it will trigger a JavaScript, and that inside the based on the JavaScript code, it will render the changes in the UI. So that is all this front end part which comes into the picture. So all these actually we are doing all these events, right? So these events, how it will come and come into the picture, and how it will store in our data based on the web services, it will come and store in our database. And the next one is reporting. As I said, right, we can do some reporting as well in our Dynamics 365. So reporting means like dashboards, charts, and you can create SSRS reports, fetch XML reports, and also you can write some dashboards kind of stuff. For reporting kind of stuff, for only for the reports, we need to use the reporting tool. Not for any other purpose, we will use only for the report development. And even if you want to, for example, let us take, I have created one account information report. Once the account information report has generated, it will come to web services, and see, basically whenever you create a report, it will generate one DLL file. That DLL file should be registered in our solution. So the report that we have built will get the changes that we have in the DLL file. For example, let us say I have created an account information report. So whenever you create a report, what will happen is it will create one DLL file. So the report design what you have done, that should come in our, that should come and reflect in our UI in the front end. Then what will happen is we need to import that DLL file component into our solution. Then only the changes what we have done, it will come and reflect in the UI, and we can able to view the report. Until unless we cannot do that. But if you use like SSRS reports or fetch XML reports, like we have one other flexibility by inbuilt like reports. We have a report section as well, like out of the box, which was provided by Microsoft. If you use like a report wizard, then no need to go and deploy DLL file, and no need to put the DLL file in the solution and place it in the instance. So it will directly, if you use the report wizard, it will directly reflect on the dashboards wherever we are using that reporting. Wherever we place that report, it will reflect on that. Sorry. And the next one is, so these are all comes under client side. So these are all services what we have doing will be connected with the web services, and it will come into the data. See, these below web services, we have server side components. So these server side components are nothing but these plugins. These three are nothing but these two are nothing but a plugins. So we have a concept called plugin. Actually, what is a plugin means? Plugin is helpful for doing the existing, expanding the existing functionality of the product. For example, let us say one example. Basically, Microsoft has provided 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Up to this, they have provided the logic for us. But I don't want only 1 plus 2 equal to 3. I need to extend this particular behavior to some extent for my business purpose. Then we will go for plugin and we will write our own custom logic, custom business logic, and then we can expand the we can expand the existing business logic to our business purpose. So for this kind of purpose, we'll go for plugins and we will write the plugins through C# programming code. So we need to use the C# programming code for to write the plugin. And as I said, right, for reporting how the DLL file is generating, the same thing. If you go for if you write any plugin, one .NET assembly will be generated for each plugin operation, and that assembly file should be registered in our in the plugin registration tool, and that file should be there is some lag actually. That file should be placed in our solution. That we made when we write plugin, the important step we need to know about is we have to register the plugin. That is the main important. Once the plugin is successfully registered, whatever the logic we have implemented in that particular program, that will come and impact on the UI. So there are different plugin pipelines actually, that is pre-event, post-event, and platform core operations we have. So I will tell you about that plugin registration tool and what are the events and what are the plugin assemblies we have and how we can do that. I will tell you in the next session. But basic purpose, we have a concept called plugins. These plugins are helpful for extend the behavior of the platform. That means it will, if we need any extend if you want to extend the further business logic to our own business process, then we'll go for plugins and we can build our own logic in that code. So what will happen is all these plugins and everything will be maintained by servers only. See, as I said, right, we have some business logic. Business logic will be implemented. So there are two types of plugins. One is synchronous and asynchronous plugins. So based on the, as I said, right, when we have to register a plugin. So while doing registration, we will choose whether we need to go for synchronous plugin or asynchronous plugin. Based on the type that we have chosen, the performance will happen. So that I will tell you what is exactly synchronous and asynchronous while we are doing the plugins kind of stuff. And business entity components. This is nothing but I can say this is one kind of layer. See, this North 52 BPA is a application name I have taken from one sample project from my design. So that is what it is there. But North 52 BPA is a kind of application what we have. That is no need to worry about North 52 what it is exactly. It is an application layer, that's it. So here it can be like any project application, I mean the client application. So the interaction happens from here only. The synchronous and asynchronous business logic. Business entity components are nothing but business entity means we will create entities, right? And also there are some entities like teams, business unit. I will show you those entities also. Those, there are some organizational entities. So those entities we cannot change, and also even we cannot modify it. So that is what that kind of entities come into picture called business entity components. And data access components are nothing but these components comes under our entities only, normal entities, when like account entity, contact entity, lead entity, qualify entity, invoice entity. These kind of entities comes as a data access components. And data access platform, data access platform, our SQL server platform, where they have their own data. So these are some kind of layers. And what is actually metadata? This is the important thing I need to explain you. See, what is metadata means, whatever the data that has been provided by Microsoft when we set up a trial, or when we create a trial, there will be some existing data that was provided by the Microsoft. That is nothing but metadata. So if you change any metadata, changes has happened, maybe some kind of errors also will happen in the application. So metadata structure is very important, and we should not modify anything. Any changes should not happen to metadata. So to be simple definition, I can say, like, what is a metadata means? A metadata is a data, that's it. Data that contains data we will call as metadata. So but exactly to understand data contains data means, metadata is the out of the box data that was provided by the Microsoft when we set up a trial in trial for Dynamics 365. So Dynamics 365 trial contains a data that is nothing but metadata. If you create our own data, like if you create a new record, new entity, or new anything, new component, if you added, then that comes under data. It not come under metadata, because this data is only helpful for whatever we have created. This data is only reflect in our environment, in our application. It not reflect in any other applications. Other applications means, like for example, I have four I mean let us take four organizational users are using Dynamics 365. So for these four organizational users, they have the metadata will be same, because that data was provided by the Microsoft. So that is one I can say about the metadata. And the data can be modified. We can modify it by, see here they have given filtered SQL views. See, for reporting purpose, we will use the SQL views also. Views are nothing but if you go in SQL server and if you write any query, then we can design one view. View, so that views also will be helpful for reporting purpose. And based on the view that if you create one view, one SQL view we have created, and if you maintain any filter conditions in that, based on that filter conditions, it will reflect in the reporting, and data also will be get changed based on the view that was created by us. So that is the filtered SQL views. And security model, I will tell you, there are a lot of security model is basically contains it contains about the information uh, to restrict. Security model is helpful for restricting the users to not to go for further extent of data. Not to go means, for example, I will tell you, see, there is some data, like for example, account entity is there, contact entity is there, and some other entities are there. Okay, so for example, Bindu is there. Bindu is at team lead level, and he can able to view only the account records, and that is to up to some extent. And some extent means, for example, if the owner is Bindu, then only those records should be visible. And if the owner is Saitesh, those records should not visible to Bindu. Then these kind of scenarios we need to implement by using security. There are some predefined security roles like salesperson, system admin, system customizer, and sales. CDS, common data service. There are some different roles. So each role contains some predefined accesses. They have some access configurations. That configurations I will show you once we set up the environment. Okay, that comes under customizations and configurations. I will clearly explain you about that. And workflows, as I said, right? See, basically workflows, we have, workflows are nothing but we need to do some automation process. See, if you want to use any automation process without the user interaction, then you will go for workflows. And that workflows are basically now the Microsoft has taken a separate tool, and that has been built as Power Automate. So Power Automate and workflows are same, but the thing is, in Dynamics 365 we have we have the workflows activity. workflow activities we have, that it can be useful in our own Dynamics 365. But as Microsoft is suggesting us, not suggesting, it is recommending us to use Power Automate, not to use Dynamics 365 workflows. So I will tell you I will show you what Dynamics 365 workflows and what is the Power Automate that we have. But both are, if coming to understanding purpose, both are same. Both the concept is same, but they want like a separate. I mean, I don't know why they have taken Power Automate separate, but to automate, but this tool, the Power Automate tool, actually helpful for many organizations to easily communicate and do the automation process. Because if we don't have Power Automate tool, what we need to do is we should rely on Dynamics 365. And also they have to come to Dynamics 365 plan, and they have to purchase license, and then only they have to use these Dynamics 365 workflows, and they have to build it. So now it is not like that. If you have one Power App license, directly you can not only Power App license, even if you have Office 365 license, that is enough for us to go and create Power Automate, and you can do automation, you can do automate processes to your own applications, and should not rely on Dynamics 365 license. So that is the reason, that is one flexibility they have provided to make it separate and build a separate tool like Power Automate. So this is the overall architecture that we have in Dynamics 365. So if you have any questions, sorry, I forgot to tell you one more thing about custom workflows. See, we have, as I said, right, we have report. If come to the reports, as I said, we have a report wizard where we can create a report by using the report wizard, and also we have workflows which we can be create by using Power Automate, or otherwise we can write our own custom workflow activities. I mean, custom workflow we can write by using C# programming. So I mean, there will be multiple link entities, and you need to retrieve the data. Then in that case, maybe Power Automate will not be flexible for you to get that link entity data, child entities. Like for example, from account to contact, contact to lead, lead to opportunity, and then opportunity to invoice. So this is the link. Actually, there will be some relationship between these entities. So if you go any further extent, and if you want to retrieve the data, then it is not possible using Power Automate. Then what we need to do is we have to write based on our scenario. We can go for custom workflow activity, and we can design our own work automation process. So if you want to build your own automation process, then we will go for custom workflows, and that automation process will be developed based on the C# programming language. That is also .NET only. C# .NET. We need to use the C# .NET. And one more thing I want to inform you here. The important thing is, see, as I said, for plugins we will use C# programming .NET, and also for .NET as for custom workflow activity, custom workflows also we will use C# .NET programming. But how the system identifies whether it is a plugin or whether it is a workflow? So there is some standard templates for building plugins and for building workflows. I will tell you some basic the main there is some method that is called iPlugin interface. If you come for plugins and if you want to build, you need to use iPlugin interface. If you go for custom workflow activities, you need to use custom workflow context. iPlugin workflow context. There is one workflow context that we need to use it for workflows. For plugins, we have a iPlugin interface context. So that is, we will use it while doing plugins or workflows. I mean, for plugins, and for workflows, we'll use the workflow context. That I will show you clearly how to write it, and how we can do the plugins and custom workflow activities. So is there any questions regarding this? Hello.
No, Tej. I have understood the complete, because I have. I mean, I've worked on a couple of cases, right? It's becoming easy for me to understand what you're explaining.
I mean, are you able to? I mean, is it becoming anything? It's lot. I mean, the content is very huge content, or what? You want me?
No. It is not, because everything that you have shown in this chart, right, is something that
Hmm.
I have handled in few of the cases.
Ah,
So
okay,
I am really happy that you are at least covering all these things, because these are the main things that I wanted to learn. Yeah.
okay, fine. I mean,
Even
before,
including these plugins and ribbon workbench, I have been struggling with all these things every day and day. So
yes,
yeah,
yeah, okay, fine. I will tell you about the ribbon activities. I will tell you that. Yeah. I mean,
sure,
once
sure.
you try. And
Mm-hmm.
the next thing is applications. So basically, Dynamics 365 having two types of platforms. Okay, we are talking about CRM platform only, but Dynamics 365 is having ERP platform also. The left side red color is there, right? This is ERP platform, and this right side we have CRM platform. That means customer relationship management platform. So, but this all together we will call it as Dynamics 365. Okay, so I mean, our responsibility is we are CRM technical consultants, so we need to focus on sales, marketing modules, customer service module, field service module, and project service automation. And there are few modules that they are being introduced that also we can learn. And I mean, we need to learn as a consultant. You and we should learn, yeah. And apart from that. Uh, if coming to this ERP is like finance and operations, retail, talent, and Business Central. They came Business Central. I mean, have you heard or not? I'm not sure. That is also one of the biggest ERP platform now the clients has been using. Business Central one, finance and operations, F&O, retail and talent. These are all the ERP platforms which will rely on Dynamics AX server. This is different actually. I'm not sure, but just I'm saying what I know. So it rely on Dynamics AX server, and it will be implementing based on some X++ programming language, extensible of C sharp actually. It's not C. It's not C sharp purely. CRM is purely on C sharp, but AX. If you want to write anything implementations, then we need to go for X plus something. It seems. I'm not sure. Basically, I learned recently, got this information about this. So, if coming to dynamic CRM, we'll have sales module. So in the sales module, we'll be having sales life cycle. See, basically, sales module helpful for the clients if if they have sales process kind of stuff. Like for example, let us take Samsung organization. So Samsung is selling their products, so they definitely go for sales process because uh, because why I was saying they want to go for sales process, they want to know how much sale has been happening for their products, and also like how much revenue they are getting based on the sale revenue, or some any kind of productivity that has been coming, like sales revenue, how much has been increased. So the sales process, basically for selling and kind of stuff, they will go for sales. Marketing means like if you market, I mean, actually, marketing module is helpful for if there is any company that marketing their product. Then let us take any Colgate or something. So they will market through. I mean, they will do marketing through advertising, or through some online. Through online also they can do it. Through some online channels also they may do advertising. So they can do all the marketing strategies, different marketing strategies. They can do it. But the thing is, uh, so by using this tool, the companies who are looking to market their product, they can come and uh, enhance their marketing strategies and check whether in what way they can go for in what way they can market their product. So if they go for marketing and they can know where they are lagging by marketing their product, like coming to the customers in where they are lagging off, and those kind of information will come in marketing. And if coming to customer service, see, customer service is one of the high and I can say it's very flexible for the Microsoft. Flexible means it is very important for them, because the revenue is getting most and most on the customer service module only. See, even what customer service means, if you buy any product, let us take you product one Microsoft product, okay, any mouse or something, and or let us take any software you have buy and bought. Or if you get any something issues with the operating system, what we need to do, Windows operating system, you got some issue, then definitely what you will do, you will contact some customer service person, and they will and you will say your concern, what happened to your operating system and what is the issue you are facing, and all the information that was provided by the customer, it will they will capture that information, and that information will be created as a case in customer service. So in customer service, the main entity is the case. So whenever the case has been registered, and it will move to some, see, as you are handling the cases, right, the same thing it will happen in customer service. So whenever you got some case, this case handling processes, all these kind of all these kind of processes will be handled in the customer service module. And how we are getting SLAs. See, for example, if you got any case, you need to close the case within 4 days or 5 days with the customer, because they have some SLAs for each and every case. So those kind of configurations and those kind of approvals, for example, you are not able to, at your level, you are not able to resolve the case. Then what we need to do is, you need to send the case to another higher authority person, like stating that this is the information that I got, and this is the solution I have provided for them, but still the case is not resolved properly. They are asking, they have some other issues. So that is the reason I was moving to some other support person, like that. So this kind of manual process can be made automate by using the customer service module. Field service module is helpful for who are working at retail outlets, or any construction construction kind of customers, who are, if they build any construction activities, they are doing building or any kind of stuff, they will go for field service. And also any retail outlets, like for example, there is one retail product kind of anything retail management kind of stuff, they will go and each retail representative, they will do some operations by using our field service module. And also I can say one sample example, like you can take oil and gas industry also. Like, see, if there is any pipelines, they have to do it, or they have to check the pipeline of the oil, and some operations they have to do on that particular pipe. Then what we need to do is, they have to they need all those details, like pipe structure, how they are drilling it, how they are how they are making the pipe segments, and everything. That data should be entered into. They want to know the managers or the business people. They want to know that how many pipes they have made changes, and all those kind of information that we need to do it. So further, in those cases, they cannot handle. They cannot use laptop or tab to go and dig the pipe and right. So the flexible way they can do is by using the mobile. So in the mobile, they can able to go, and there is a field service app also. So they can install this field service app, and then they can do their operations and enter the data exactly, and they can sync it. So we have a synchronization also. So where they can use synchronization, and once the operation that has been done, the syncing process will come from the mobile to our Dynamics 365 server. And there is also one more app called let me tell you, that is a Resco mobile application. That is one kind of mobile application which will be handled by the Dynamics 365 field service people only. Mainly they will use Resco mobile applications. This Resco mobile application, what it will happen is it will work even if it is offline. Like for example, the user should not be always online, right? Maybe some network issue may come, or if they go any somewhere outside the field, and if there is no network, they need to enter the data and they want to make it. So at that time what they can do is they can use the Resco mobile application, and they can enter the data and they can save it. And once they come back, and if they click on the sync process, I mean there will be a sync button in a Resco mobile application. If they sync it, once they come back to online, that the operations what they have done, it will transfer to our server, and it will update it according to the data that has been provided by the user. So that is one field service. And project service automation is mainly helpful for the handling the project managers. If they have any project, like for example, let us take our IT industry only, any software organization. So let us take our any project manager. They want to handle all the projects, how they are taking up, and what is the progress of the project, how it is. So these kind of tool will be helpful mainly for project managers and human resources HR managers. So this tool is helpful for them. So this is about the applications we have. So do you have any questions regarding the application? Hello? Hello?
Hello, am I audible now, Tej?
Yeah, you are audible.
I was talking on mute. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Okay, okay. I'm just asking, do you have any questions on this?
No, no, I don't have any questions on this because technically from customer engagement side, right? So the
Yeah, yeah.
major thing that I am handling is from customer engagement side itself. So
Oh.
unified operations is something that is not required now, but yes, maybe in future you never
Hmm.
know if we change our projects or something, maybe we will need it. That I'm not sure, but this is really helpful. Yeah, this part of it is yes helpful.
Okay, thank you. Um, okay, so that is the just introduction about this. And
Mm-hmm.
now let's go and create the file and set up of the file.
Okay.
Mm. So before doing that, setting the file, first we need to have Office 365 account. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me. Okay, so first we need to have
Mm-hmm.
uh, Office 365 account. Okay, Office 365 account. This we need to create. Okay, we need to
Okay.
create the Office 365 account. Okay, so once you create this Office 365 account, by using this account, okay, by using this account, we can set up our Dynamics 365 trial. Okay, so basically what exactly Office 365 account is nothing but it will be like
Mm-hmm.
normal Gmail account. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
normally how we will sign up for Gmail, right? If you don't have any
Mm-hmm.
Gmail, then how we will set up the same thing? We will the same kind of stuff. We need to create one Office 365 account, because why we need to go for Office 365 account is why we need to go for, because the reason is The reason is Dynamics 365 platform, okay, platform will not allow users or customers, by, it will not allow users or customers to create a trial by using any normal email providers. Okay. Normal email providers means like Gmail. With Gmail, you cannot able to do it. With normal Outlook, you cannot able to do it. Okay, if you have any Hotmail or something, Facebook, okay, you cannot able to create any trial. Only with Office 365 account only you have to create it. And
Okay.
also because why having is because see, this is already a this product is kind of this product is a kind of professional, okay, and it is business purpose basically. It is a business professional purpose. They will use it. What happened? Okay. For professional purpose. So they will not allow us to use normal Gmail or Outlook. Normal Gmail, Outlook, any email provider. So that is what. So they need either Office 365 account or organizational account. They need Office 365 account or organizational account. They need it. Organizational account or Office 365 account, what is the difference is nothing but, see, organizational account means your company organization. For example, let us take, I was working on app learning, okay, APC learning. So this is one organization, right? So I need to use APC learning only to create a account. I need to use the email address of APC Learning, and then I can able to create the account. Sorry, I can able to create a account and then set up the trial. Or any other company, like for example, let us take TCS. Okay, then if you have a TCS account, you are organizational provider. If you are working in TCS, that means you have organizational account. So if you having organizational account, then it will allow to create using organization. It will allow by using the TCS account also, it will allow, or any Infosys or Wipro, any organization, but it should be organizational. It should not be Gmail, Outlook, or any other Facebook or LinkedIn, any social networking sites also. It will not allow to create a trial instance. And also it will not allow to create Office 365 account also by using these Gmails and Outlooks. So now the first step we need to do is we need to create a Office 365 account. So for that, what we need to do is we just go to portal dot. It is visible, right? Screen. Hello.
Yes, yes, it is visible. Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So portal.office.com. So if you go here, it will ask us to create an account. Create one. Okay, but is it will redirect to Outlook? No. Office 365 login. Or you can go for Office 365 login also. Actually, there will be portal.office 365. Let me open that. No, it is asking no, this is there will be some another URL. Portal.office.com. Sorry, let me directly open with Google. I think I forgot the URL. No, portal.office.com. Okay, sorry. So we need to go to portal.office.com. Here, it will ask us to create a email address. Like, let's get started. It is saying. So now here we need to provide some dummy email address. So what is that is, what should I provide? I will provide your name. Mm, just a minute. Just a minute.
Sure, Tej.
Okay. So something like whatever we can take some name, Bindu dot APC, the rate apclearning.com. Okay. Now, so if you want to sign up for Dynamics 365, you need to set up a new account. So now we need to create new account with name like Bindu. Last name I'm not sure, right? So business I will give my number. Okay. Let's test company APC, and we have to choose the company size. I mean, this is normal data. Like we have to like setting it like that. So we'll take US only, and we need to use India. Here it is. Italy, India. India. Okay. So now it will send a one verification code for us to our mobile, and that verification code we need to enter. Like normally, how we will for setup, right? Like authentication kind of stuff, we will set up the codes like that same thing. What is the code? 532. Okay. So here, after signing, here it will ask the domain name. So the same domain, like we can give any domain name. Able to see domain. Okay. And after that, we need to give the password. So I'm giving. This is the password I'm giving.
Tej, actually, I think screen is stuck.
Seriously?
Yeah, I can see apart from Bindu, I don't see any movement after that.
Now, can you able to view? I mean, you
I'm
can
able
you?
to see the view, but I mean,
No,
like, I'm able to see